Okay.
Good morning, students. Here we come up with the next lecture series of embryology, that is ovarian cycle. In the ovarian cycle, we start with the definition, and in the definition, we will start with the primordial follicles. So therefore, it is the maturity of primordial follicles as soon as they develop in the ovary. From this primordial follicles, there will be successive stages of development till mature stage of Graafian follicle is reached, out of which one of the Graafian follicle will cause ovulation. It will ovulate, it will rupture and cause ovulation. And similarly, that Graafian follicle after ovulation is converted into corpus luteum. This cyclical change is the definition of ovarian cycle. So ovarian cycle is nothing but the stages right from the development of primordial follicle till its attainment of Graafian follicle. From maturity of Graafian follicle till its ovulation, as the Graafian follicle ruptures, it releases the oocyte, that is called ovulation, and then the same Graafian follicle is converted into corpus luteum. This entire cycle is called ovarian cycle. Now, two hormones will play an important part: estrogen, OES, TROGEN, estrogen, and progesterone. These two hormones will play an important part in regulation of this ovarian cycle. So therefore, now we take the different stages of ovarian cycle. It is very simple to understand, and we'll go in a flow chart. So it will be simple. So primordial follicles will mature into Graafian follicles. Please note down that there will be on an average 5 to 10 Graafian follicles which will mature in each menstrual cycle. Out of this 5 to 10 Graafian follicles which will mature in each menstrual cycle, only one Graafian follicle will rupture, and as it ruptures, it will release secondary oocyte. So ovulation will take place. Ovulation will take place from one Graafian follicle. So therefore, as ovulation will take place from one Graafian follicle, the remaining Graafian follicles, what will happen to them? The remaining Graafian follicles will slowly undergo degenerative changes. So they will be converted into atretic follicles. And later on, the remaining Graafian follicles that have not ruptured, that have not ovulated, they are converted to atretic follicles, and they will be converted into interstitial cells of the ovary. Interstitial cells of the ovary. Now here we will consider the part of Graafian follicle that is ruptured and that has released the secondary oocyte in the form of ovulation. Now what causes the Graafian follicle to mature? There will be release of, we start from here, follicle stimulating hormone. Now this hormone will play an important part at this stage. This will be released from anterior part of pituitary gland. So anterior part of pituitary gland will release follicle stimulating hormone, which will induce maturation of Graafian follicle, as a result of which there will be ovulation which will take place. Now, after this follicle stimulating hormone will mature Graafian follicle, there will be ovulation, and at the same time there will be release of estrogen, and this estrogen will be released from the theca interna layer of Graafian follicle, theca interna layer of Graafian follicle, as well as stratum granulosum layer of Graafian follicle. So please note down, theca interna layer will release the estrogen, and small amount of estrogen will be released from stratum granulosum layer of the Graafian follicle, as a result of which there will be release of estrogen. Now this estrogen will produce the following effects. What are the effects that is produced by estrogen? The effects will be, number one, it will cause secondary sexual characteristic features of female to develop. So there will be development of secondary sexual characteristic features in the female, and that will be, for example, development of breasts. Second, it will cause the attraction of libido towards the opposite sex, And the third and the most important will be, it will help in proliferative changes in the endometrium of the uterus prior to ovulation. This is very important. So therefore, prior to ovulation, there will be various endometrial changes, proliferative changes in the endometrium, such as repair and growth. So repair and growth, that is the proliferative changes in the endometrium just before ovulation, that is caused by estrogen. And finally, this estrogen, the same estrogen will cause, now we will come on this side also. So the same estrogen will cause the inhibition of FSH. So inhibition, I will put this in down arrow, inhibition of FSH. And at the same time, it will cause increase in LH, luteinizing hormone. This change is very important. Now this increase in luteinizing hormone is known as LH surge. Sometimes you are asked in one mark question answer, what is LH surge? Sudden shoot up, sudden increase in the luteinizing hormone, LH hormone, that is caused by estrogen. Now what will happen? As a result of LH surge, now this is the stimulating point for what process? For this important process, ovulation. For ovulation to occur, LH surge is very important. And what causes LH surge? Estrogen, which is released from the theca interna as well as stratum granulosum layer. So because of LH surge, there will be ovulation. Now remember this ovulation will take place exactly on the 14th day of 28-day menstrual cycle. So if the menstrual cycle is of 28 days, exactly in the middle, 14th day, ovulation will take place. Now here, one important change you must remember, the period between ovulation and the next menstrual cycle is always constant. The period between ovulation and the next menstrual cycle is constant, but the period between ovulation and preceding menstrual cycle, that is prior menstrual cycle, will never be constant. So please note down this important change. That is from ovulation till the next menstrual bleeding, that period will remain constant. So therefore, after ovulation, what will happen? After ovulation, the Graafian follicle, there will be certain changes in the Graafian follicle. So after ovulation has taken place, the Graafian follicle, which has ruptured to release secondary oocyte in the process of ovulation, in the same Graafian follicle there will be certain structural changes. So what are those structural, here I will write down, what are those structural changes which will take place in Graafian follicle? There will be, the wall of the Graafian follicle will thicken and it will start degeneration. Now in this process of the degenerative changes, important changes are development of two varieties of cells. First of all, the stratum granulosum layer cells will proliferate by mitosis. Stratum granulosum cells, that is the layer, will proliferate by mitosis, and also they will have accumulation of yellowish colored carotenoid pigment within their cytoplasm. So they will proliferate by mitosis and they will accumulate yellowish colored carotenoid pigment within their cytoplasm, that is stratum granulosum cells. And because of accumulation of yellowish colored carotenoid pigment, they will enlarge in size. These cells will enlarge, and after enlargement, these cells of stratum granulosum, they will then be known as granulosa lutein cells. So one mark question answer, what are granulosa lutein cells? What are granulosa lutein cells? This is the development first change here I will mention, and the second change will be after the changes taking place in stratum granulosum where they are converted to granulosa lutein cells. The second change will be, there will be the conversion of theca interna layer. This theca interna layer, they will be converted into theca lutein cells. The cells which are present in theca interna, will be converted into theca lutein cells, or they are called the paraluteal cells, or they are called the paraluteal cells. So theca lutein cells or paraluteal cells. This is the second change which has taken place in the structure of Graafian follicle after its rupture in the process of ovulation. So therefore now the entire degenerative process and the conversion of stratum granulosum into granulosa lutein cells and the conversion of theca interna into theca lutein cells or paraluteal cells, with the help of development of these two cells, now there is development of corpus luteum. So because of these changes, please see that we come on this side. This structure which has developed will be corpus luteum, the structure. After Graafian follicle has ruptured, the structure will change. Graafian follicle, the structure will change. And therefore, these series of degenerative structures will lead to the development of these two variety of cells, granulosa lutein cells and theca lutein cells, which are also called paraluteal cells, which will develop into corpus luteum. So therefore, as a result of these structural changes in the Graafian follicle after ovulation, it will lead to the formation of corpus luteum. So because of these changes, the entire Graafian follicle which has ruptured in ovulation, that Graafian follicle will be converted into corpus luteum. So that corpus luteum will slowly undergo degenerative changes after all these structural changes. Now what will happen? Now, as the corpus luteum has developed, there will be, now please note down this important change, the LH hormone which causes ovulation, the same LH hormone will cause these changes in the Graafian follicle. The same LH hormone will cause these changes in the Graafian follicle. LH hormone will cause ovulation, and at the same time the LH hormone will cause structural changes in Graafian follicle, which will lead to the development of the corpus luteum. Now after the development of corpus luteum, there will be release of, please come on this side, there will be release of the progesterone. Now the second hormone will come in role. This progesterone will be released from stratum granulosum layer. Please note down, from the stratum granulosum layer, that is the cells which are known as granulosa lutein cells. So granulosa lutein cells of stratum granulosum layer will release progesterone. Now what will progesterone have the effect? The progesterone will have the effect after estrogen. So we have finished the discussion of estrogen, where the estrogen has prepared for the process of ovulation, proliferative and repair changes in the endometrium. That was estrogen. Now progesterone will lead to certain changes in endometrium, such as it will cause the secretory phase of the menstrual cycle, the second stage of menstrual cycle, secretory phase, in which the endometrium is prepared. The endometrium will be prepared in this phase, secretory phase. The endometrium is prepared for the reception of the fertilized ovum. It will be prepared for the reception of the fertilized ovum. This is the first change, the first effect that progesterone will have. The second effect that the progesterone will have will be, there will be the effect of retaining the products of conception within the uterus. So it will cause stoppage of contractions of uterus, and it will enhance the retaining of the entire. Therefore, here this progesterone, the second effect will be, it will help in retaining the embryo, the products of conception, by stopping the contraction or lessening the contractions of the uterus, but at the same time it will increase the tone of the uterus. So it will increase the tone of uterus and it will stop the contractions or lessen the contractions of uterus, which will help in retaining the products of embryo. So therefore these are the two effects of progesterone. So therefore, after these effects of progesterone, which we have understood, the effects of estrogen are different and the effects of progesterone are different. The progesterone will stimulate the second phase, that is the secretory phase of endometrium, where it will undergo several changes. Second will be it will help in the retaining the embryo. The changes which are produced in secretory phase will be for the reception of the fertilized ovum, and here this will be for the retaining the products of conception, retaining the embryo. It will help in the pregnancy, developing of the pregnancy. So after discussing these two effects of progesterone, we start with the fate of corpus luteum. What will happen to corpus luteum? That is the terminal phase. So therefore, please come on this side, here on this side. So the fate of corpus luteum. In the fate of corpus luteum, what will happen to that corpus luteum which has developed now in the ovary? There will be two phases, and those two phases will be, the first phase will be corpus luteum of menstruation. In corpus luteum of menstruation, this corpus luteum of menstruation will develop if there is no fertilization. So therefore, in this phase there is no fertilization taking place. If there is no fertilization which has taken place, then the corpus luteum which is present now in the ovary will remain for 12 to 14 days. Please note down. It will remain for 12 to 14 days. And during these days it will release progesterone. Afterwards the cells will degenerate and the corpus luteum has secreted progesterone, and that progesterone will also decrease. So after this, what will happen? There will be decrease in progesterone. There will be decrease in progesterone. See this flow chart, how we are going. So decrease in progesterone after 12 to 14 days will lead to menstrual bleeding. So because of decrease in progesterone, there will be menstrual bleeding that will commence, that will start. So this is the 1 mark question answer. Decrease in progesterone will lead to menstrual bleeding. And therefore, after all these changes, this corpus luteum of menstruation will be now converted into fibrous nodule, and that fibrous nodule will be known as corpus albicans. 1 mark question answer. What is corpus albicans? So therefore, after all these changes, the corpus luteum and menstruation will be converted into fibrous nodule, which is called corpus albicans. Now here, we come up with second. Now in the second phase, there will be the corpus luteum, which is known as corpus luteum of pregnancy. After discussing corpus luteum of menstruation, now corpus luteum of pregnancy. Supposing if pregnancy, fertilization takes place, so if there is development of fertilization taking place, so if fertilization takes place, then what will happen? There will be development of zygote. Outer part, that is the trophoblastic cells present in the blastocyst after implantation will release chorionic gonadotropin hormone. So because of chorionic gonadotropin hormone which is released from trophoblastic cells of the blastocyst, that is a certain stage after the zygote, that hormone will help in retaining the corpus luteum, which will proliferate. It will remain till the 4 months of pregnancy period. So therefore, it will help in retaining the corpus luteum, which will help in stimulating the corpus luteum rather, and this corpus luteum will remain for the first 4 months of pregnancy period. And throughout this first 4 months of pregnancy period, it will release progesterone. This corpus luteum which has remained as a result of fertilization which has taken place, as a result of pregnancy which has developed, is called corpus luteum of pregnancy. So here we finish the entire flowchart, we finish as ovarian cycle. Thank you very much.